We, as board members, are required every year after our reorganization to be reminded of, to study, to be review all of the board member prohibited acts and school ethics training. So for that, this evening, we're going to ask our board attorney, Matt Giacobbe, to review those policies. I lost you. You're shrinking.
Oh. I figured I'd come over here so you could see me. Each year I do this, and I always start off with an analogy, the Ferdinand and Isabel analogy, where I say the board is like Isabel and Ferdinand, king and queen of Spain. You buy the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Marina, you get a compass, a sextant, a map, and then you hire a guy named Columbus, and you say, get us to the New World. Dr. Valesky's your Columbus. And the whole purpose and the reason I give that analogy is that it's your job as school board members to make sure that the district is well run. It's not your job to run the district. And there's a recent advisory opinion that really kind of highlights that. And I've got recent cases in this handout for you. But one of the advisory opinion, the question that was presented to the School Ethics Commission was, can board members participate in exit interviews or witness exit interviews of district staff members? And the School Ethics Commission said, no, that's overstepping your bounds. You're there to make sure the school's well run. You're not there to run the schools. And there's a few cases that I wanted to highlight to you because the one benefit that we have is before you take action, we can get an advisory opinion from the School Ethics Commission. And we've done that in this district and we've done in other districts where you can get guidance from the School Ethics Commission to tell you whether or not the act that you're going to take is going to be prohibited. I'll give you an example. I have a district where there is a gentleman who is engaged in the business of selling, a board member who's engaged in the business of selling huge generators. Diesel generators, so when you lose power, the generators kick on and you have power. And his company is very large, and he wanted to know if it was a publicly bid generator, could his company participate? The School Ethics Commission said yes, as long as you recuse yourself, you're not involved in putting together the bid packages, you don't vote in the bid packages, you could participate. And so that gentleman has an advisory opinion before action is taken. There's a few cases that I just wanted to highlight for you to show you the pitfalls of it. There's a recent case in which a board member voted to appoint an auditing firm. What the board member forgot to tell everybody is that the head of the auditing firm and he owned a building together where they each had an interest in it. The School Ethics Commission said that that was a violation of the law because the board member should not have voted on somebody, even though he didn't own the part of the auditing firm, he owned a business in which the principal of the auditing firm also owned it. That was a violation of law. There's another case that I think is very, very important that came out. What that case stands for, the proposition, is that the board, it collectively decided that they were going to go out and hire an interim superintendent. And they agreed that they would have no contact, no board member would reach out to anybody. It was going to be done through the board. And one board member took a phone call from somebody who was interested in being the interim superintendent. A taxpayer, not another board member, a taxpayer found out about it and filed a lawsuit, an ethics complaint. The School Ethics Commission said, they didn't really give anybody an unfair advantage. We don't think it was a violation of the school ethics law. The taxpayer appealed it to the New Jersey Superior Court Appellate Division, and the Appellate Division said, School Ethics Commission, you're wrong. The board agreed that no board member could act independently, and because that board member acted independently, he gave that person an unfair advantage, and that was a violation of law. So there's a higher level that can even look at these things. So it's important that if you have a question, don't act. Two more cases I want to tell you about. This one, it kind of defies logic. So you had a school board member who believed that another board member was engaged in unethical conduct. And this school board member thought that it would be really a smart idea to take out her cell phone, and when they went into executive session, tape the meeting so she could prove that the board member that she was investigating was engaged in illegal conduct, unethical conduct. Well, guess what? Secretly taping the executive session meeting was found to be unethical conduct. That is something that was prohibited. Lastly, a recent case I want to bring to your attention. There is a district in New Jersey. This is happening as we speak. There's a district in New Jersey in which there's some very, very contentious labor negotiations that are ongoing. It's now going into fact-finding. Through the mediation process, a deal was structured. The board, the union president didn't like the deal. He was very unhappy with the deal that was structured with the two teams and went around and sabotaged or killed the deal, talking to people, etc. What was really important, though, is he figured that he would do this because what he did secretly was he sent out a letter to the community, to other NJE members in the community saying, make sure that you go out and vote for these other two people. We're supporting these other two people to get on the board. He also wrote checks to these candidates to get them on the board. And guess what? Those two candidates won the two seats, and the two candidates that left, who lost, had been on the negotiations team. So this union president thought he had a major coup. He got two people. They were going to be pro-union. They got on the board. He wrote to the board president, said, now that the deal's been shot down, let's reconstitute the board, the two teams, and we'll go forward, figuring that he now has two people that will be pro-him. Well, as Ben Franklin once said, 3 people can keep a secret if 2 people are dead. And one of the other union members that wasn't happy with this union president dropped off some literature, namely the letter that this president had circulated to the members, and a copy of the elect form in which it showed that he had made a contribution. So guess who's now must recuse themselves as a matter of law from not only being on the negotiations team, but for voting on the contract. The 2 new board members who got union support and financial support. So if you get that support, there's now, under the School Ethics Commission, there's a mandatory 1-year blackout. You cannot participate in the negotiations or vote on the contract. So that's something that, these 2 people who and the way this came about was they're going to the School Ethics Commission training. They just went to the brand new board member training and they said, oh my goodness, I think we have a problem. And that's how this case came about. So the reason I tell you this is, if you have a question, if you as a board member are concerned about something, go to Dr. Valesky, go to Dr. Cohen, they'll pick up the phone, we can give you guidance and research on it. There's a plethora of cases out there we can give you guidance. And if there's not guidance on a particular issue, we can get an advisory opinion. The worst thing you can do is come to me and say, oh, by the way, I did this, can we get an advisory opinion? The answer is no. If you've already done the act, you can't get an advisory opinion. There's nothing that's that urgent, that's that compelling that you need to vote or take action. If something doesn't feel right in your gut, stop, take a deep breath, pick up the phone, and we'll give you guidance so that you don't end up as one of these cases that I've just told you about. If you have any questions, feel free to, I'm here to answer any questions. All right, thank you. And again, if you need anything, just feel free to call.
Thank you, Matt. Are there any questions? I guess not. We will now